Mr. Dorsey, how does a claim by Chinese communists that the U.S. military is to blame for COVID remain up for 2 months without a fact check, and the president's tweet about security of mail-in ballots get labeled instantly?
And we did take action on that tweet because we saw it. We saw the confusion it might encourage, and we labeled it accordingly. And the goal with our labeling...
You're speaking of the president's tweet?
Yes.
Okay.
He's the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar social media company, and yet Jack Dorsey shows up at a Senate hearing wearing a nose ring? I mean, how much effort does it take to take a damn nose ring off for a Senate hearing? It was unbelievable. I mean, I paid attention to what he was saying, but I couldn't get out of his mind. It was like that nose ring. Oh my God, how do you do that? Well, you know what? I admit, I was a bit annoyed at first, but then I was grateful. Thank you, Jack Dorsey. You've liberated me. How is that? Why? How would he have liberated me? Do I plan to go put a nose ring, which I think it's barbaric. It's ridiculous. Anyway, no, I have no intention of ever wearing a nose ring. But the reason why I found it liberating is, now I know some of you probably know that the Dummy Funnies channel has been demonetized by YouTube. It's part of their war against conservative channels. It's their new gimmick. You know, they used to just say, "Oh, you're hate speech. You're doing hate speech," but they got too much blowback on it. So now they have this backdoor way of suppressing conservative channels by demonetizing by based on very selective rules that they're not very specific about. And you can't. I've asked YouTube many times, like which videos specifically of mine are in violation, because they've monetized like over 95% of them. They don't tell you. But here's the thing. I've been working behind the scenes to try to, for me, on behalf of other YouTubers as well, and I hope other YouTubers do the same thing, to make an appearance before the Senate Commerce Committee in the future. And I'm sure they had yesterday, they had not only Twitter, they had the CEO of Google, parent company of YouTube, by the way, and Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook on there. So I think it's only a matter of time before they have, because we're talking about millions of people, YouTubers, being affected by this very selective enforcement of the rules by YouTube. It's only a matter of time, I think, before the Senate Commerce Committee has a hearing on YouTube, and I'm making plans behind the scenes. I'm not going to get specific, to make an appearance before the Senate Commerce Committee. Now, as far as my testimony, that's going to be the easy part. That's going to be easy because I've been writing for Newsbusters for about 14 years now. I'd say in that time I've written at least 3,000 articles, maybe even 4,000. I don't have a specific count. Writing articles for me, believe it or not, is fairly, once I have the idea, the concept, boom, it's like done. But that's not what concerns me, and I do have some very powerful testimony. In fact, I have a big bombshell that I was going to do a video about, but you know what? I don't want to give a heads up to YouTube. I'm going to wait for hopefully for my Senate hearing testimony before the Senate Commerce Committee. But the thing that really concerned me is, what do I wear? I've got, I have a jacket, I have several ties, but believe me, I'll be honest with you, it has the look of a definite lounge. It gives off the vibe of a definite cheap Vegas lounge lizard. You testify before the Senate committee or any Senate committee. You don't want to look like a cheap lounge lizard. So that jacket and everything was out. So I was worried, like, oh my God, now maybe I got to go to a tailor and get spend a few $100 on a nice jacket. Probably don't need any new pants because you know, the way things are nowadays, we're doing remote testimony, so you'll only see me from like about the waist up at the most. You won't see anything else. You know, pants I don't have to worry about. But yeah, I probably have to spend a couple $100, and I was like really concerned about how I would appear. You know, could I wear the hat? You know, all this stuff. But now I'm liberated. Thank you, Jack Dorsey. You show up at a Senate hearing wearing a nose ring. I can show up for sure. I look more conservative. Use pun or not intended, but maybe it is. I look more conservative than you, just like this hat and all. I'm gonna wear a nice colorful shirt. I'm gonna have the, probably since it's remote, I'll use the same background. I'll do it all like this. The only concession I might make is maybe I'll go to a barber and get my beard nicely sculpted. But guess what? Even without the beard sculpting, my beard as it is now, much less scraggly than what the hell was that with the, I mean, you're a multi-billionaire, Jack. You couldn't get somebody to trim your beard a little bit, do a little sculpting or something. It was unbelievable. So thank you, Jack Dorsey. You've liberated me. Hopefully I will be testifying before the Senate Commerce Committee about the extreme abuses by YouTube on the way they're suppressing conservative channels via very selective enforcement of their rules. So I hope to see you guys later, and all you members of the Senate Commerce Committee, hope to see you too.